Very good morning, sir. We are very happy to have you here on a school platform. This is our Leadership Speak series. Here we are trying to connect our parent community to schools and the leadership to get an insight about both the school and the leadership. Sir, we welcome you, and just to let our parent community know that we have Pritam Kumar Agrawal sir with us. He's the founder of Hello Kids chain of preschools and Riverstone Schools, and is a VP and core committee member for ECA India. Sir, thank you for giving your time and joining us today.
Thank you, Sapna. Hope I'll be able to give my answers.
Oh, sir, we are very sure you are. Sir, you're an industry leader today. 25 plus states, presence in 25 plus states and 690 branches. So, sir, how do you approach this? What is your style of leadership?
Swapna, way back in 2005, when I started my preschool journey, I wanted to see the problems which is already existing in the industry. Starting from my own school, where the concept of play school was there, but starting from Bangalore and going to rural places, there were a lot of changes which was required. Bangalore requires a lot of upgradation in terms of understanding the education part of it. And when you talk about the rural part of India, the preschool as a school which was required, right? So starting from education to the presence of a preschool, we have worked in both the spaces.
That's definitely there. So you've taken it from the basic point for the children education, and you're also kept it connected with the rural and the urban areas.
Yes.
So as I said, 690 plus branches, 25 states. So looking back at the accomplishment, which is your biggest win? Many accomplishments over the years. Biggest win according to you?
Again, 2005 till 2009, we were running our own centers, and 2008 we decided that that was the time when Sunita joined me as a partner to Hello Kids. We decided that why not to take this on a franchise model. And again, as I said in the past, that we were working on understanding the industry. So the biggest win for me was to model a preschool for a futuristic franchisor relationship, right? Where we decided that we will not charge anything as a royalty, right? So we were even the first model in the industry as the no royalty charging brand in the preschool sector. So that was not an easy decision to take, but yes, that was the reason of our growth factor.
So that brings me to my very next question. As you said, difficult decisions. Leadership is often called upon to do that. Of course, you have made those choices, and success is there to show that those were the right choices. This was one instance. You did tell me it was a hard choice and you made it, and it is well. How do you base these choices on? What makes you make those choices?
See, when you have a very long-term vision and you are very confident that this will work definitely with time and your passion, it will definitely work in any industry. When I was reading about preschool, when I was traveling across the country, when I was visiting the schools, I was meeting the school leaders, I was meeting the suppliers, I was very confident that the preschool industry has got a very good future. Now, there were brands, there were schools present in the year 2005, but it was very important that what is my vision of bringing Hello Kids? It is the same preschool what is going on, or what I can bring more to this preschool, both in terms of education and the business model out of it. Education, I will say that as a center of we always used to understand the consumer and the customer, right? The consumer was my child and the customer was my parent. To understand that part, Decision maker was not the consumer, decision maker was my customer, right? So understand what your customer wants and understand what a consumer need at the end of the cycle. So we have understood that there was a gap between a parent understanding the education and a child given that education. So we say that with all the leading schools, with all the preschool brand were available in 2005, we were trying to differentiate what is called education and what is knowledge, right? If I give you a small example, F for fan, that is a bare information, let's say. That is that education which we got it in the year 1980s, right? A teacher used to show you a book with a picture of a fan, and that was called F for fan.
Yeah.
But coming back to something called a ceiling fan, coming back to something called air conditioner, there was a stand fan and a wall fan. There was an exhaust fan. That is what the knowledge which was required. And you cannot give knowledge to someone. You can only share your knowledge, right? So if you understand the real requirement of that child, and if you can make the atmosphere, even Rabindranath Tagore said, you don't need to educate people, you have to create the environment. So if you create the environment, this preschool, this early years is so important and so easy to understand. Trust me, it is a rocket science. I'll say preschool is not something which you think that it is A, B, C, D and this is 1 to 10 and any engineer and doctors can take care of this part in the classroom. Sorry, they are good into injections and drawings, but they not be very good in terms of learning the letters and the numbers, right? So we differentiated what was that requirement of that education. Then coming back to the franchise model, as we were able to see a lot of royalty involved, businesses see it is a brand which is ours, but somebody is doing a lot of hard work running your brand, maintaining the standards, right? Using their daily efforts to manage the schools. They should be happy at the end of the day that they are not working only for brand to grow, because my growth as a franchisor, our growth as a Hello Kids, our growth as a model of preschool is based on the growth of the franchisee and the branches. So that passionate educator who is running our centers should be happy continuing with us for n number of years, the future years to come. And that is only possible when they do not pay you a very heavy part of royalty or services, right? So we try to reduce that part also. So both has worked with the time and people have accepted us, either it is urban or rural. And thank you to all that, I'll say, stakeholders from the franchise owners, the teachers, the principals, right? Even people from the office, those who have taken a lot of decisions to make the education better and the business model better.
Definitely, sir. So taking education and make it knowledgeable and accessible now across demography and geographically too. Amazing, sir. So this journey, you have also achieved a balance between our Indian culture and the Western competitiveness of the Western standards. How did this come about, sir?
See, when we say that we are rich in culture, right? That is one. So we say that at least we should be able to follow the culture, which is really one of the best heritage culture of the world, right? So to bring that thing in that early years is very, very important. Second is, when we are talking about quality of education, we cannot say this is for India, we will be using an Indian standard of education, and this is from Europe, this is from the Western world. We will not use it. What is the best suitable? What were the best research things available for that young minds to accept it, use it, bring it to a practice? And if you see there is a potential of that learning from the early years, right? So you have to bring that. It is like you have to use your head, brain and eyes and ears open to bring the best practices from the world. It doesn't mean that this is the Western culture or this is the Indian culture. No, sorry to say that whatever the best practices available from the globe, you have to bring it for that particular child. So when we say that, it is the competitiveness from the globe, right, which is the best practices. If we are trying to incorporate in our curriculums, classroom with the children, and that should be given not only at Hello Kids, everybody must follow that patterns.
Definitely, sir. Bringing the best for our children, the best practices, methods, methodology. Sir, should be an interesting day in the class for the children. So how would a typical day would be for a child at Hello Kids?
All right. Swapna, it is very, very easy to bring this child back to the school tomorrow, right?
Okay.
So every day has to be very unique. It is not that you and me who understand that we have to go to our offices and workplace because we have to work. These are very young minds. If they do not enjoy the school today, trust me, they won't come to your school tomorrow. Every day is a challenge for these teachers. That what I'm going to do tomorrow, that the child will definitely enter my school with that happiness. And we say that this is that 200 school days, which is very unique from each other, right? It can be an activity, it can be that story and rhymes, it can be that big hug by the teachers and the caretakers to the child. The relationship what we develop within the child is not that teacher and the caretaker relationship. This is more than a parent, I'll say. They spend almost half of their daytime with us. And trust me, these 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours in a preschool in India, right? That makes a lot of socializing. That talks about a lot of learning sessions. That talks about a lot of friends who are in the school for whom these even children come to school. So we whenever we train these teachers, we say that जब child को school आना है ना, he should have one reason. Either he has got a good friend, or he likes the caretaker, or she likes the teacher, or she likes the play area, or she has something in the school that the child is going to come back tomorrow. कुछ तो होना चाहिए आपके पास उस बच्चे के लिए, to whoever you want that child to bring back to school tomorrow, उसके आपके पास ऐसा क्या है जो child will come back to you tomorrow. That should be your center point of thought, right? कुछ तो हो आपके पास, and that has to be new, because a child will not play with the same toys, same space, same styles again and again. They have very short attention span, right? So you have to work on that part.
Definitely, sir. So keeping the child interested, involved in an everyday through activity and through school staff, both the caretakers and the teaching staff being involved.
मुझे स्वप्ना ही नहीं पसंद है तो मैं स्वप्ना से नेक्स्ट टाइम मिलने की कोशिश नहीं करूंगा. मुझे केटेकर ही पसंद नहीं है, उसका शकल ही पसंद नहीं है, तो I don't want to go to her, right? If I do not enjoy my session with my teacher, I won't go to that classroom. If I don't have friends, I will not play with them. If I have one friend also, I can play with him for 4 hours. It's like this.
Very true. So can we say that it's a very conductive, very kind of exploring and learning environment within the classrooms? Every day is ensured towards that.
Yes.
Definitely. So some nowadays, like parents are looking for special educators. Would this, on request, could this be a possibility? Can parents avail special educators?
I'll explain this thing, and I hope that parents are listening on this. It is a very quite important line to understand. We as a management, we as an educator, and the parents, and we both are working for the child itself, right? We are for the child. We have to be with the child. We have to. The bottom line is child right now. Most of the cases, right? We do not have anything very specific in house. but we do have consultants outside the school premises. We do consult with them. We do pass on the messages to the parents. But most of the cases we have seen, right, it is not very easy for me to say, but parents do not take this thing seriously in the initial days. When a school talks about this thing to the parents, they don't believe, they don't trust that we are in that situation or my child is facing this situation. Friends, this is our experiences. This is our teachers' experiences. This is that environment who has given us some thought that this child or this time needs some special attention for that particular child, right? So when somebody is guiding you, you take it as a baseline. Consulting a special educator is not bad. Whenever we are in fever, whenever we have some problems, we do go to a doctor, right?
Yes.
Which is curable, which is really we can work on that. And we have to take, it's a joint decision by an educator, teacher, or a parent that we need this for my child. It is not only your child, it is our child. Let's say when the child is already studying in a school, it is our child needs some attention. And let's work together to bring that child into the track. This is the only time, which is early years, I say, where everything is possible, right? Early intervention is more important, right? Then we have to say something at the end of the day or end of the time that we did not do anything for that particular child. So Swapna, very clearly, we do not have anything in-house, but we do have association with a lot of special educators and the organizations. Those who have helped the children, we have seen the children overcoming that issues. And even during this pandemic, we have got many cases where we have worked, and it is really helping good. We are getting a good response from the parent side, and even the child is responding very well.
It's really heartening to know that the Hello Kids is with children. They are working progressively in that direction. Definitely. So I do hope parents are hearing and heeding to this advice. Thank you so much, sir, for that effort. So this also brings to the formula, the safety and the privacy of the child is another question that parents worry about. How is this addressed, sir, at Hello Kids?
Swapna, very good to see. I think you'll be the first to hear this. I am writing a book on the safety part, right? Very soon, maybe a month or two, it will be published. Safety is very, very important in early years. Safety at home, safety at school, safety in the travel part, safety in the classroom, safety within the people, right?
True.
Safety during the COVID times, safety during the travel part, safety with the people, as I said, right? So, and we all are responsible for the same. The child is too young to understand the safety part. Let me give you a small example, right? See, when we are talking about, we are all talking about COVID safety, but yes, that is not the only safety. We all have gone a lot for the COVID safety. Let me give you a small example. A child do not know that I do not need to touch a scissor or a blade. How he or she will know that this is not meant for me, right? So as a parent, the child has to take a safety tour. If you go to a big corporates, they do have orientation, they do have something as a safety. They talk about fire safety, fire exit and everything. Similarly, at home also, a child should have at least every 6 months to 1 year, depending upon the growth of his growth or age I'm talking about. You should, as a parent, should take them to a safety tour of the house. This is the kitchen, and this is the sharp object. This is the refrigerator. This is the electrical points. These are the gas stove, right? So we should avoid touching this. If you want something, you can ask your parents to help you. These are the balconies. These are the doors. These are the lock. These are the steps which you should not use it. Similarly, whenever a child is joining a school, right? not immediately. It should not look like a class. It should look like a normal course of discussion, right? So you can take even at your school level, right? A safety tour of the school. These are the gates which you should not go out of this gate, right? These are all medication. These are all cleaning materials. You should not touch it, right? These are the things you should not put it in your mouth, right? So safety is very, very important when a child do not know what to do and not. You and me will not touch that sharp object without requiring that scissor. We do not use it. We do not play with a scissor, right? We do not put anything in the mouth till the time we do not know this is medicine or this is food, right? So a lot of safety is important. Even for a child, safety is to decide a veg or non-veg also. But we do not treat it as a safety science. Road safety, road science, right? So safety should be a very important part because this is involved a high risk. So it's a very important point, even in preschool. Even I urge all the school owners, and they must have it. In a preschool, it can be 6 months, but in a school, every year, there should be a safety day or a safety tour and understanding of the session. So every classes, either you are in the first standard or 10th standard, either to a elderly kids, the child who is 5 years and 7 years or 10 years, we now need to talk about a cyber safety also.
Definitely, sir.
Right. So with the age, we should be able to understand what is that safety required for that particular child.
Sir, you have touched a nerve that is probably the need of the hour. It's not only about COVID, washing your hands, putting a mask on, much more. And it's fantastic to know that there's a plan for it and you've found an easy way of doing it. What you said seems to be very doable and very effective. So I'm hoping that many people listen to this and incorporate your idea. And so definitely looking forward to that book. It seems to be an eye opener.
Yes.
Definitely. So there's so much, as you said, this is the safety protocol that can be implemented at school level, but parents are also the other side of a preschooler or any student for that matter. So coming to the preschooler era of the segment of it, how much of a parent involvement would you appreciate?
Swapna, a parent is the key process for the child development. And when we talk about parents-teacher meeting, that is not enough. That is not enough. Our messages and the video sharing on the mobile application, that is not enough, right? So parent participation, I will say that in a preschool years, right? Every mother or father, those who are involved with the kids' education, at least one has to get involved into the child's education. And I say that they must be a nursery teacher trained, right? It's not that just A, B, C, D, A for apple and B for ball, right? There are things beyond it. Expectations are very high. Comparisons are happening. But yes, seeing the last 10 years journey, there is a difference between some of the parents' categories. Earlier, parents were more concerned about that education, but now with the education, with the things, I will not say that this is again back in 2005, right?
Yeah.
Concern is yes, but concern with understanding is very important. If you are a concerned parent, do you understand what you are concerned for? You are concerning, you have a concern of your child not writing. Do you understand what is writing? This is my say and my participation. So participation is important. And at Hello Kids, this is, I'll not say every school is doing it, but yes, most of our school, and thank you to the owners and the leaders, those who are managing that schools. Many workshops are happening for the parents to understand the preschool education. What is storytelling? What is writing, right? What is that rhymes? How we teach rhymes to the child? What is the importance of that rhymes? It is just a music and the words, or there is something called a rhythm. There is something called a memory. There is something called a voice modulation. There is something called a sequencing of I'll say stories has got sequencing, right? So a parent also has to be trained about your education. What is Montessori education? What is that three finger skills you are working with the child, and why you are working for that child for their three fingers? Why a child is using a crayon, not a pencil in the early years, right? So when you give all these things, I know the participation is good, but only listening to you on a parents teacher meeting, I'll not say that that is a participation. When you are sending a messages, getting a reply or getting a note back, that is not participation. Participation is beyond your notices and information. We have another act of giving the information to the parents, where we see a lot of participation. We at Hello Kids, I'll say 80-90% of the schools are doing very good into this part. This is a manual transaction, but yes, I'll say this is very, very important. Swapna, let's say you are sending your child to my school, and I as a teacher write almost 2 to 3 lines about your child on an everyday basis. Trust me, after 200 days, that 600 lines about your child, right? I can bet you I know Swapna's child better than Swapna, right? So that 600 lines is enough to understand the child, to plan for that particular child, to invite and inform the parents about the child. And if I change my position as a teacher, any teacher joining on my space knows Swapna's child on day one itself. It is not a verbal process, it is a print process. It is not a thought process, it is a written process, where it is very, very important to communicate that thing to the parent. And trust me, parents are much more involved into this process. A lot of parents who wants to come and see that I want to read about that 30 lines for the last 1 month or 2 months. So where you want your parents participating? Is it just on a PTM you want to bring them, or it is on a discussion that you have something special requirement and you are speaking to them? No. PTM is not enough. Information is not enough. Issues days is not enough. How they can contribute to your education part? Do you call your parents on a given day and ask them to spend a day in the classroom? No, please do that. Even we have done in the past, we do on a very regular basis, that we invite one parent to the school. That lady or that father will spend the whole day in the school process. They understand what is that role of a teacher, how difficult or how it is easy to manage 12 in the class or a 10 in the class, then how difficult or easy at home to handle that child. It is not only that letters, it is 26 letters and it takes 1 year for that education, right? How difficult is to give that one letter, right? Or that 10 numbers during the year. Only a school education can understand that part.
So such a refreshing ideas, sir. So, very refreshing and one of its kind. I think knowledge seems to be at the basis or at the core of the whole thought process here. And it's very, as a parent, I find it very reassuring too. So what is it that keeps you motivated? And there's so much of passion when you're talking about. Inspired, yes, your journey would have started from that. But on a daily basis, what keeps you motivated?
See, Swapna, motivation is what? Motivation is kids here, right? Yeah. We are working for kids, those who are self-motivated, first thing. They do not need that. They just need people, they just need environment. So maybe for me, it is just a peaceful environment which is motivated. And as I said, you have to do something new for tomorrow, right? So if you are not doing anything today, you are not self-motivated, I don't think you will get something new for tomorrow. So maybe today for me, something new was that I was supposed to reach my office, finish my work, go back and speak to schools people and Swapna, right? There is something today new for me also. So that energy has to be there for all the educators. अगर मुझे लगता है कि I know यार I'm not enjoying today, I don't think you will be enjoying tomorrow also, right? So the child focused things, right? The industry itself is colorful, right?
Very true.
Preschool industry and the school industry is colorful. Children are active. Children, I'll talk about my child also. Even they gets up early in the morning at 6 or 7 or 8, right? They don't sleep till 12 o'clock. But by the time we are exhausted, they will not exhaust so easily exactly. Even till 12 o'clock, if you don't sleep, they also don't sleep. So they have the energy which we have to match it to be an educator, right? We have to match their activities.
Sir, you are so motivated and so hands-on into the whole of this Hello Kids and into keeping knowledge at the core of it and the needs of the children at it. So what is it, sir? The goals for the next milestones that you're looking at? Next goals?
Swapna, the milestone was quite ready, and I'll say 2-3 things to understand. Swapna, milestones has to be have. I failed in my first milestone. I wanted to do 500 centers in 10 years. It took me 12 years. Now with COVID, we got little more slowdown, but the energy is so high that we are waiting for that moment. We have recovered from the last year. New education policy has given a new sign that this industry is the industry needs you people, like people like us, for the future of the child. And if NAP making the preschool education compulsory has given a new light to us that whatever you have done in the past, right, needs for the future too, right?
Very true.
And with the new education policy, with whatever the way we have worked in the last 20-21 months, and we are fully ready to take this industry to a next level. And I'm very sure that we will have good years to come with the number of centers, with the number of children, and the trust which is among the parents that will be able to fulfill the requirement of the child and the parents with the new technology, new NEP, and the industry 2.0, I'll say, not industry 2.0, preschool 2.0, which is post-pandemic, will be able to do the justice with our whatever the way we have done in the past.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much for that much of thought sharing and experience sharing. Sir, your feedback on our platform Skoolz.
All right.
Your experience with us.
I am following Skoolz for the last, I'll say 1.5-2 years. And the way the platform is doing, I see one of the good active platform in the industry. And it was a very good sign that I have been able to listen to a lot of leaders on your platform. I have learned myself from this platform, and I hope that the others are also learning from this platform. And I'll say, Swapna, that best wishes to your team, Skoolz, and
thank you, sir.
Good to thank you for having me here, and best wishes. That's it.
Thank you so much, sir, for your best wishes. It's been a delight to have you with us, and thank you so much. My takeaways have been many, but especially your safety tour, what you said is definitely going to stay with me, and definitely looking forward to that book. So thank you so much, sir, for your time again and being on our Leader Speak series.
Thank you so much, Swapna.
Thank you.
Stay connected.